Time for the news.
News.
We'll start with Star Wars news.
Okay.
So, apparently, legendary actress of Aliens and Avatar, Sigourney Weaver,
the Scream Queen herself.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah.
She's going to be, or negotiations are taking place apparently, for her to be cast in the new Mando and Grogu film.
Oh,
according to the Hollywood Reporter. So, as I say, very early stages, negotiations taking place. No news yet on what character she may play. The fact that she's not appeared in any of the series or anything to date would suggest it's a character we've not yet seen on screen.
I'd put a bet that she's not going to be the Mandalorian or Grogu.
I will.
That'd be my guess.
I will not take that bet. But if you can find someone who will, I'll be with you.
Okay. I'll be down Ladbrokes in the morning.
Indeed. Basically, just walks into Ladbrokes, got someone behind the desk who's never heard about it. All right, we'll give you evens.
Yeah.
Fine. Oh, great.
Nice. Here's £10,000.
Yes, exactly. I'll be back to collect my 20 grand in a few months.
Yeah. But then, in a shock announcement,
could you imagine
Filoni in a twisted move?
Sorry, guys. Pedro Pascal could not make it, so Sigourney Weaver.
That's it. Mr. Ladbrokes is like,
I'm just trying to think because it won't be anyone because of the timing of it. It's from a time we've not seen, so it can't be. It can't. I don't know.
Well, as soon as you said her name, I wondered if they'd recast. You know that the sort of slightly batty lady who helps fix up his ship.
No.
Whether they'd recast her as that character.
Sigourney Weaver's not playing that character.
What are you telling her? Are you?
No, she's
better than that.
Well, yeah,
it's a part.
That I feel like that was one of the few bits in the Mandalorian that let it down.
Yeah,
that one character I thought was a bit annoying and unnecessary.
And I can't stop
with
thinking
the little droids.
Yeah, it's the comic relief bit, isn't it? But I can't stop thinking about when she said that she dated a Jawa, and that just creeps me out beyond belief. I can't stop thinking.
Little eyes on sticks.
Oh yeah! Imagine if it's Roboth. Ugh. What the hell's under there? Just LEDs.
Just darkness and LED darkness. Eyes.
Who wouldn't be?
Literally, there is nothing but a set of eyes. Just
floating eyes. That's quite terrifying, actually.
Yes, they are quite terrifying, but small and cute in a way. Thieving little bastards.
I can't abide those dreadful Jawas.
No. On kind of unrelated, but also related to Star Wars, because director of photography, Greig Fraser, who he worked as director of photography on Rogue One and on Dune Part 2, and also
talented man,
and also on The Creator.
Okay,
and also on few episodes of The Mandalorian as well.
Okay,
so he has done an interview this week talking about his work, and he's been talking about how he was slightly apprehensive about doing, or not apprehensive. He thought Denis Villeneuve Denis Villeneuve would not want him to do it because he thought there might be too much of a crossover between Dune Part 2 or Dune and Star Wars.
Okay,
and people might have been a bit unsure about that. And he highlighted in fact that Dune Part 2 and Rogue One indeed used similar location or same locations for filming as well.
Oh, really?
In terms of desert views. So Star Wars and what film did he make again? Star Wars and Dune shared a desert.
Oh, yes. What? And which desert is that?
I don't know. Somewhere in. I do know. I did write.
Probably not the
It's not Tunisia.
The New Hope one. Yeah, Tunisia.
No, it's not Tunisia. It's not in Tunisia, not in Morocco. I think it was somewhere in North America.
Right.
Alas, anyway. But one of the things he was unsure about was, and I wanted to a little question for you.
Ooh.
As director of photography, when he found out he was going to be doing Dune Part 2, and the scenes involving, is it called Gidi Prime or Gidi Prime, the planet that the Harkonnens come from?
Oh, yeah.
It's spelt Giedi. I'm going to go with Gidi.
They say it weird, though, in the film, don't they?
Gidi
Prime.
Yeah, whatever it is. When he found out that was essentially going to be a monochrome planet, he had his doubts because he said that he thought that the use of black and white film at the moment, he thinks is becoming a bit of a trend, and he didn't want to appear like they were just jumping on a bandwagon.
Okay.
And he raised, so the first one that came to my mind was Oppenheimer, because that's part color, part black and white.
I'll take your word for that still.
Take my word. I forgot.
Still haven't seen it.
No, you've still not seen it. Oppenheimer uses that. Sorry to spoil that for you.
Oh, what? I'm not watching a black and white film. Fuck that.
Yeah, it's not, the whole thing's not in black and white. It's very little in black and white, actually. But he basically said that he felt like it was becoming a bit overused. He didn't say that he thought it was a bit overused, but it kind of implied.
Okay.
But I can't think of too many other films where I think, actually they've gone to town on that.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. The one that sprang to mind, it's not recent anymore, but do you remember the film Sin City?
That was pretty much all in black and white, wasn't it?
Big parts of it were, but and also there was a special version only on the 4K disc, I believe, of the Logan movie, which was entirely in black and white.
Yeah. Schindler's List, black and white.
Yeah.
But and then with the exception of, was it Girl in Red, who's in the
there's little splashes of color.
But again, that's a black and white film for the time that it was set in, rather than jumping between the two. But I don't know. I don't think
it's overused.
Yeah, I guess though, when you're on the other side of the camera and you're kind of the artistry behind it, you're probably a little bit sensitive to, like, I want to seem original. I don't want to seem like I'm copying anything,
I guess. And if you think of the DOP's role, it's all visual, isn't it? So they're going to be entirely, that's their world.
Indeed.
But I think there's a difference between black and white and monochromatic.
I thought that. I didn't see those scenes as black and white.
No.
I saw it as this happens to be a black and white
environment. Very muted palette, or
exactly.
It's desaturated.
Quite.
The way to put it.
So I didn't have an issue with that. And
I didn't. I thought it was very effective.
I thought it was as well.
And it made sense within the context of the story as well, with the black sun and everything. It wasn't to denote the past, or
from a physics standpoint, I still don't get around how a black sun works.
Well, this is a world with giant worms and shit.
Is it a possibility? I don't know.
But we'll accept the two suns on screen. That's fine. We're not accepting.
No, because you can get a that is scientifically possible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess.
I don't know. I'm making this up as I go.
I just accept everything. Whenever you say something sciencey, I just assume you know what you're talking about.
Oh no, that is a thing. No,
he's more educated than me.
Binary suns are possible, as far as I'm aware. I'm sure I've seen that somewhere recently from a far more reputable source than me.
More reputable than A New Hope.
Yeah. No. It was Neil deGrasse Tyson. You reminded me of Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Well, he knows
it was basically the only piece of science that all of Star Wars has got right is binary suns.
Okay.
Being possible.
I mean, technically they could be millions of miles apart, the suns, couldn't they?
Quite.
In the sky. So, yeah.
Quite.
There's two suns and no women.
Yes, indeed. It's still not an excuse for hunting small animals.
No, it's sicko.
Yeah, indeed. Right, have you heard of a film called Megalopolis?
I think we've established that I haven't.
We didn't establish it, Steph, because we spoke about it off air. People don't know about that conversation.
Yes, but you know that I haven't heard of that thing.
Well,
So.
I know. Have you heard of a director goes by the name of Frank Ford Copolla?
Francis Ford Coppola. Yes,
him.
I am aware of him.
You're aware of his work. He's
I
made a
am.
few films that I think you might like.
I think I've seen one or two of his movies. Yeah,
indeed. So, Mr. Coppola, he is finally releasing a labor of love that he has been had in the works for 40 years.
Blimey.
And it's science fiction.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, and he's going to be premiering. I will learn to say that word one day. At the Cannes Film Festival this Friday. It stars Adam Driver, among others. There's several other people in it, but Adam Driver's in it.
It's not a one-man show.
No, it's not a one-man show. It's a very big show. It's got a reported budget of about $120 million.
Oh, big time!
And this is, I don't know what the perception of it is within the industry, but it's completely self-funded by Francis Ford Coppola.
Do you know that it's so interesting you just said that, because I know he funds a lot of his own movies, but I was about to say, wow, over 100 million, that must be studio made, because I remember of years ago he talking about he only wanted to fund his own films, but he used to say, but only if I can spend less than 15, 20 million or something like that. But
I suppose it's a George Lucas thing. I mean, George Lucas was very, I don't want to be beholden to anyone else.
No.
So I want to...
Except 20th Century Fox, who made it for him. But
exactly. You know, you scratch our back, we'll scratch yours.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that's coming out. It's obviously, I don't think there won't have been any press screenings or anything yet, or because it's going to be seen for the first time in Cannes. But there have been reports from the set that it wasn't the smoothest ride.
Okay, all's not well.
Yeah, it doesn't bode particularly well. But the caveat to that is, supposedly there were lots of similar stories that came out of the set of Apocalypse Now.
Oh yeah, and The Godfather, in fact,
and they were all right.
Yeah, they turned out all right.
A little bit better than all right, some might say.
You could do, yeah. Some small success he's had previously.
Indeed.
Fighting his corner. He knows how to get the job done, I think. He
does know how to get the job done.
Message.
It's very good. But there's, so I think we're okay.
Yeah.
We'll see. Whatever it is, it looks epic. So it's got the dystopian future in New York.
Okay.
Where not entirely sure what happens, but in the trailer we see what looks like missiles descending upon New York. And then, I mean, the premise of the story sounds a bit rubbish, to be honest, because the synopsis says Adam Driver is an architect who has like radical ideas on how to rebuild New York.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, it could
radical in terms of let's blow it up and rebuild it.
I don't know.
Is it like they come friendly bombs and fall on Slough? It's not fit for humans now, or whatever that poem is.
I don't know.
You've not heard that one?
I've not heard that. Sounds lovely.
Famous poem.
Famous. So famous.
Famous.
You don't know it. You don't know how to recite it, and I've never heard of it.
No. It gets quoted in The Office. That's how I know it.
Oh, right. Famous for people who live in Slough.
Yeah.
Or work in Slough. Okay. Well, Sloth. We've been talking about films that turned 25 this year.
Yes.
We spoke about The Phantom Menace. We've spoken many times about The Matrix.
Yes.
Which, just in case any of you have forgotten, is in cinemas next month.
Excellent.
If you want to see the first Matrix on the big screen,
go and see it.
You may be able to in your local theatre.
Check local listings.
The Mummy is also 25 this year.
Oh, that is a great film.
I really enjoyed that film.
I love The Mummy.
I really enjoyed the first one. The ones that followed it were a bit...
Went off the boil a bit. By the time you had CGI Rock as the Scorpion King, it was going way downhill.
Yeah.
But even the sequel's pretty good.
Yeah.
But that first one's a classic.
Yeah. And it's weird, like, I don't know if he just got typecast or not, but Brendan Fraser, kind of after that, is he didn't appear in much after that.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's very well documented reasons why that's happened, and he's only just come back into.
Do tell.
Well, I mean,
Allegedly,
he did suffer a lot of abuse, and in this kind of way that pretty young men in Hollywood might do.
Oh,
and
as in people might have taken advantage of him.
Yeah, exactly.
Potentially.
Yes, yeah, that kind of a thing
in a way that he may not have liked.
Yeah, and then when you spur those advances, you're blacklisted essentially. So that's kind of
yes
what apparently went on, and that's why he's been out for ages. He's just on the crest of a massive comeback now.
Oh, he's won an Oscar.
Yeah,
for The Whale.
That's right. Yeah,
which if you haven't seen The Whale is
I haven't actually
incredibly emotional.
I heard it was good.
It's and it's also interesting that it's shot in it's shot. I don't know what the screen ratios are. It's like 4:3 or whatever it is, or like,
what as in old TV?
Yeah. Because it's meant to
4:3. That is
4:3. So the whole point is it's meant to emphasize how large. I mean, he's like yeah. But I won't go into too much detail. But I would highly recommend watching it to anyone if you've got time. But just make sure you're in a suitable emotional state at the time, because it will get you. If you've got any sort of heart, it will get you.
Oh right, okay.
So
well, fair warning, but yeah, I might check that out. But yeah, so he's and the public, the swell of public affection and love for him being back has been. I think he sort of. I think in a sort of, I don't wish to equate, and obviously all abuse and hate is awful, but in the same way we talked before about what happened to Ahmed Best, and Hayden Christensen as well to a degree, and because one of the positives of social media and things is being able to connect to the fans and realizing actually there's a lot of love out there for you, and people want to see you back and want to see you do well. And actually, the love way outweighs the hate. Yeah,
it's just being able to process that, isn't it? And being able to see the avalanche of love rather than focusing on the few negatives, which I think is probably the hard. When you work in an industry like that, and I always think this is like if you're when your job is under so much scrutiny, anything that's in the public eye like that. It must be very easy to get into sort of a negative spiral and only see what the haters are saying. But
because it just stands out more, I guess.
Indeed.
But so I mean, the cast of The Mummy though were all gorgeous men and women, weren't they?
Gorgeous men and women. Rachel Weisz.
Oh man, did I have a crush on her?
John Hamm.
Yes, handsome man.
Now the narrator on Race Across the World.
Oh, was he?
He was also in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Good for him.
Yeah.
The actual mummy dude. I can't remember his name. That actor.
He was in the series of 24 as well.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he played the bad guy. Bad guy. And also the guy who's like the horse, the guy, the Arabic guys who are on horseback with their I can't remember what they're called.
Oh yeah, the
dude who leads them is pretty cool.
He's awesome.
He's pretty cool.
It makes me think of George Harrison for some reason, that guy.
Yes. No, I think very much. You
know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah, no, I do. The hair and the little hair as well. Yeah.
Very cool character.
I can see that. Indeed. Right, one last little bit of news.
Okay.
So there's going to be a collector's edition of Empire magazine, which will be available and coming out from the 23rd of May.
Okay.
And it will be focusing entirely upon the works of Christopher Nolan.
How many orders have you got coming in?
I have spent my next few months' salary.
I've got to have one to frame, one I'm actually going to read, one for each of the toilets,
like a plastic cover.
And
so keep
one I'm going to laminate.
One to put in my will. Actually, it's not framing one's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
that's not a bad idea.
Do it.
Do it. Yeah. So anyway, if you like that sort of thing, And I can't remember the last time I bought an actual magazine.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was thinking that I used to buy Empire every month, like back in there.
Yeah.
Now nary. If I'm going on a long plane ride, I might buy myself a nice fresh magazine
Yeah.
for the journey, and that might be an Empire.
Yeah.
It might be a Stuff.
Stuff.
Might be a Reader's Wives. I don't know. Depends what mood I'm in.
Oh dear. Oh dearie me.
Oh dear.
Dear.
One of those
dear.
wasn't true. I would never read Stuff.
Hey. Lovely. Yeah, so I might have a look at that. I don't know. I do prefer like thing is it's some it's that whole thing, isn't it? There's so much access to journalism or whatever or media online. You just don't buy these real things. But I would much rather, if I were going to read a magazine, I'd much rather sit on a plane or a train or a bus or whatever it might be with an actual magazine than
definitely
flicking through an iPad.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
I have a weird thing where I always start at the back of magazines as well. I have to read like the back page first.
I don't think that's weird. I think that's quite normal. I don't know. I think it's maybe to do with like being. I don't know. I think that's quite. I think quite a lot of people do that, and I have a tendency to do it sometimes. Like maybe it's just the fact that it's because you hold obviously the weight of it in your left hand.
Yeah, maybe.
But then reach with your right, and I don't know.
Because the right's maybe the one you want to turn the pages with more.
Who knows? Oh, there might be a psychological reason for that, but I don't think
we're all serial killers, is what it means.
We're all mad. We're all absolutely off our heads.
We are. I think magazines know this though, because they've started putting really interesting things on the last page, like a cool one-page article on something,
or advert.
Yeah, probably more likely.
Brr.
Buy sandwiches.
I don't need it. I don't need any encouragement to buy sandwiches. You don't need to advertise to me. I'm yours already.
That's true. Yeah.
Food.
Lifetime customer. Just food.
I was reading an article about something called. Have you heard of Ozempic?
Ozempic? No.
Ozempic is this new drug that's like apparently it's a weight loss drug or something. But apparently one of the it was.
Why are you asking if I've heard of that?
Nothing. No, nothing against you. Just on the subject of sandwiches. But it was about like one of the things that I heard someone saying about it this week is it basically makes you feel a little bit nauseous, so you don't want to eat. I'm like, why would I want that in my life?
That sounds awful. Actually, do you know they do the opposite of that for in medical classes where people have to cut up cadavers and things?
Yeah.
They actually pump something in apparently that makes you feel slightly hungry so that you don't feel nauseous whilst you're cutting up dead bodies and things.
Yeah.
So it's like the opposite way around.
You could just like feel too hungry.
Yeah. Like, if it was me, I'd be like, oh, you've extracted the liver and the kidneys and the heart. Where are they, by the way?
I've had lovely pie.
Aorta sticking out of my mouth.
Did I mention it? How much I love offal.
Oh,
so lovely.
Yeah. That
so
Nolan
lovely.
testing.
Anyway, how do we get onto that from Christopher Nolan's limited edition version of Empire magazine?
But we go where we go.
We got there. Anyway, that was the news.